godliness, our unwillingness to endure the discomfort of withdrawal has gotten in the way of our being fully recovered. So we tie off our souls and keep shooting up in hopes of not being discovered. And since there's nothing like the real thing our souls still long for its foreordained lover, but afraid of the commitment, we just pacify it with another. Another time when we go through the motions of letting the spirit get close but not actually get in. Proof being that we continue to partake in that which we've convinced ourselves is not actually sin, until another becomes another time we find ourselves here again addicted. Too enveloped in living up to what others expect to accept that we've fallen down and lain here a while. Not knowing what they will say or they will think, no matter how it hurts us, we just wear the mask and we smile. Behind our titles and positions, affiliations and family ties, we hide until so long in this prostration we've lied that we've even deceived ourselves into states of denial. Telling you what you expect us to say, we mastered holy diction, and since many seem to have taken for non what's really just our fiction, we learn to feign conversion when it's really just conviction, because though we smile and preach and sing and meet and jump and dress and play and speak at assemblies, revivals, and conventions, when you get beneath our surface, we're really just hippo-Christians. We become addicts. Addicted to a form of godliness, our unwillingness to endure the discomfort of withdrawal has gotten in the way of our being fully recovered. So we tie off our souls and we keep shooting up in hopes of not being discovered. And since there's nothing like the real thing, our souls still long for its foreordained lover. But afraid of the commitment, we just pacify it with another. Another almost. We live our lives in a cycle of surrendering all. Well, most. You see, we almost live holy. We're almost converted. We've almost turned away from ourselves to really serve Him. And we get real close to almost living on purpose. But since we only almost believe, we only almost receive. So we can only be almost focused. And with no almost heaven or almost hell, the almost lifestyle really is just worthless. Because unless you trade show and fallacy and hand in your credentials as a professor of Christian identity for a life that mirrors your professed divinity, in that day all you'll hear is, "I never knew you. Depart from me." And see, there's no need to get into a semantics debate, because if you're only almost saved, you are completely unsafe. And the Lord who discerns the real from the fake will spew you out of His mouth, because lukewarm Christianity does not suit His taste. So, no matter how many notes you bend or how many weeknight and Sunday services you attend, the total amount of tithes and offerings you bring in, the total amount of auxiliaries and ministries you're involved in, you cannot be saved from while yet living in sin. You cannot be saved from while yet living in sin. And you may fool yourself and continue to pretend, but when it's said and done, all you've got is an addiction. Addicted, and we think that we've got this habit under control, so we set ourselves in our ways, refusing to come to ourselves and just let go. We keep looking the part, and we gain the outward show. But what good is looking the part and gaining the outward show if all the time you are losing your soul? Wow. Addicts. I can speak about this because I know the signs for myself. I too was sick with the same addiction until God completely restored my health. I've hidden behind the blockade, paralyzed and afraid, because what I was differed from what I displayed. But I now know a God who will strip you naked and expose the masquerade, causing you to cry out from the deepest part of yourself more sincerely than you have ever prayed, and He will set you free, make you right, make you whole, and truly saved. And I know that these words may sting, but resist the temptation to ignore. Because the sting simply means that right now Christ is knocking at your heart's door. He wants to come in and exchange what you feign for the real thing and much more. And until you let Him, your soul will continue to be at war, because it's struggling to suppress the God that it was created to serve with these modern day veils that you've grown to adore. See, we have free moral agency, so the decision is yours. But know of a surety that Christ cannot abide in the same heart still filled with the sins that He hung, bled, and died for. So I'm not talking about you. I'm simply relating to you, enabling me to passionately speak what He gave. which is to expose that to the bondage of pretense many of his people have been and are still enslaved. But with the confession of our profession, we release his power to save. It is with the confession of our profession that we release his power to save. And haven't you paid that old pusher man long enough? Can't you see that it's time to let the word come in and clean you up? Let it expose what you have hidden, cause you to know sin as sin, and climb your heart to repentance so that you no longer walk dead while you think that you're living. Now is the time to come to the realization that it is not enough to have a name among the congregation. It's not enough to be full of indoctrination, but on the outskirts of true relation, because while you are trapped in sin and degradation, how can you help to bring about its cessation? Addicted. Addicted, but there is hope. No matter how tight the yoke, despite how fiercely it chokes, when you get ready to unmask and decloak and expose that you've been dry bones dressed up in church clothes, then will he send his word, and his word will heal you. It is powerful enough to divide asunder the fake to get to and deliver the real you, so that you may know and live holiness and not just appear true. If you surrender all, not most, not only is he willing and able, but it is what he desires to do. See, he desires your rehabilitation, not for this addiction to destroy you. That is why he keeps extending the invitation, lovingly waiting. What more are you waiting for him to do? How long will you deny him with your life before that day comes when he'll have to deny you, addicted?